TrueSight Operations IT Data Analytics allows you to perform several advanced analytics functions on your log data. Let's take a look at the options. First, you can compare data. Comparing data in two time frames allows you to quickly determine the difference between a known good time and the current time in which you're investigating. You can visually see these differences, and you can drill down on those differences with just a single click. Here I'm in the IT Data Analytics console. I know that there's something going on with my Linux server, so I'm going to go over here to Administration, and in my data collectors, I'm going to find the syslog data collector that's running on a server that I'm having the problem with. I'm simply going to click the search button, and I'm going to take a look at this data. Here I can see in the chart a volume of data, and I notice that there's a big spike here, but is that normal? This data collector has been running for a little while, so I can quickly do a compare data, and I'll select the previous time and the same duration. What this means is I'm currently doing a search over the last 60 minutes. This will compare the last 60 minutes to the previous 60 minutes. I'll select that option, click compare. And what I can see is clearly there is a very consistent pattern of this syslog data as this server is humming along, and all of a sudden I started to see some very odd volumes of data. I can click on those 70 entries, and with that single click I can drill down and see what's going on. Well, it looks like I've got a session starting, another session starting, another session starting, all for the same user. It looks like I may have a user trying to hack into this server. Now I've found the root cause of that problem. The next analysis option is to coalesce data. What this allows you to do is take vast volumes of data and squeeze them down into a short list of what we call data patterns that are similar. This allows you to consume and analyze large volumes of data without having to read tens or even hundreds of thousands of messages. Let's go back and run that same 60-minute query so that I'm looking at the last 60 minutes of data. Now I can coalesce this data. I'll select the Analyze Data option. This performs the coalesce. I can see I have 173 messages of this one type. Now we saw this before, so I know that this is usually going to be starting session of user and then the username. Since I see such a high volume of this one type of message, I can click down on that and see all of those just that match that particular message, and I can see, yep, starting session, starting session, starting session, start ed session is why that showed up differently, and I can see that this is all for the same user. Oh, it looks like I even have somebody attempting to try to get in as root. This is clearly not a good situation, and in a case where I had hundreds of thousands or millions of messages, it's clear to see that Coalesce would help me sift through that data very, very quickly. Let's take a look at the last analysis option, and that is looking for anomalies. This actually takes coalescing to the next level. Basically, anomalies allows you to look at your data and say, what is normal given what has happened in the past? Is the volume in which I see those patterns being collected, is that volume normal? Is there more or less than is normal? And then a second thing that we look at in anomalies is rare events. The question to ask here is something going on that I've either never seen before or at least rarely seen before?
So I'm going to hop back into the IT Data Analytics console, and I'm going to switch over to the search view, and I'm going to run a quick search where my search string is asterisk. That's going to basically return everything that I've collected, all the messages I've collected. And I'm going to run Analyze Data. That gets me that coalesced view we talked about earlier, and I'm going to switch on anomalies. And here I can see rare anomalies. I can see that those have occurred a couple of times before, and I can see the exact pattern. I'm also going to take a look at my out-of-range errors. These are message patterns that are showing up either more or less than they normally do.
These powerful analytics options allow you to find the root cause of problems much quicker than ever before.